What is up, guys? It's time. It's time. No more BS. No more leading up work. I got the truck jacked up. Got some jack stands under it so we can have the pitch kind of right, because our transmission is strapped in right now. So I'm gonna get a floor jack with a board under there and get it kind of lifted off that strap, get that strap out of there, and that way I have the transmission, instead of it kind of having this tilt, I can get it back level and be able to pitch it up or down quickly with the floor jack once I get in there. But yeah, we're here, we're ready. I already pulled it off of the engine stand, got her chained up with my ghetto chain. It's done me good. All these times I still haven't invested in a plate yet, but when the time comes, I'll get a plate. But for now, we'll just keep doing it ghetto for one time for the shade tree boys. And yeah, other than that, let me get y'all set up on a stand and see if I can't break a chain, send a bolt flying, or crack a hole off the head or something while we get this puppy dropped off down in here and finally start getting it put back together. Let's go. Woo! Okay, motor is in. It's all bolted up. Some little cliff notes there. If the time lapse didn't give you a good idea, always leave the 4 bolts on your Dirty Dingo mounts that bolt to the block. Always leave those just tight enough to where you can slide the bracket back and forth. That was a big major key when I was getting this in here, because the transmission was twisted one way, the engine was twisted another way, and I had like a floor jack with a board under the transmission pan to get the transmission tilted right, to get this to match up so I could get the dowel set and get a couple bolts started and kind of keep tightening them up slowly but surely and getting this thing together. So once you do that and you set the engine down, I would say before you get your main long bolts tight that go in your clamshells, I would still have the engine supported by your cherry picker and get those 4 bolts on both sides tight. And then kind of get the engine set, you know, kind of while you still got the chain on it, kind of make sure you're not weeble wobbly one way or the other. And as you can see, like, I've got, you know, this bolt's almost centered on the tab, but it's more towards the inside edge of it. Same thing here, it's more towards the inside edge. So the engine's sitting a little bit high, about as high as it can sit for those slots. And then once you get, you know, your 4 bolts that bolt to the block tight, then run these in. I just run them in with an impact, and then just kind of gave the wrench a little, you know, just make sure it's tight. But yeah, we're sitting down in there. All of the bell housing bolts are tight. They all slowly but surely went in. I used the ICT billet transmission to LS bolts, whatever they call that kit. It was like under 20 bucks. Nice, clean, new hardware. So I went ahead and bought it. And they worked out great. And yeah, so there she is sitting in there. Cherry picker is free. The engine stand is free. And I don't know what to think about that. I got to put something on there, right? So anyways, next things to do really, I guess, is get the headers bolted up, get our line ran to our oil pressure, our mechanical oil pressure sensor, which it's not a sensor, but whatever, however you want to say it, gauge. Get the chain out of here, get the starter mounted up, get the harness plugged in everywhere we can, get our accessories on, get our intake on, and shoot, we're probably getting pretty close around that point. Yeah, so I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this video off here. It's going to be a short and sweet one. I'm taking advantage of the weather today. It's like 60 degrees. Tomorrow when we wake up, it will be like 20 degrees. And we're supposed to spend the next 100 hours, so like 4 or 5 days under freezing. So I definitely won't be out here. So anyways, I'm glad that everything went pretty smooth. I took advantage of my time and got the engine bolted up. So that was our big next step we needed to accomplish, and we're there. So yeah, look forward to the next video. Start making some of our connections. I may or may not get power turned on so that I can drain the fuel tank before I have the intake and all that stuff in the way, because I tried to siphon it. If y'all remember, I don't remember if I showed that or not, because it was a complete fail. It didn't work. The hose like wouldn't make the 90-degree bend into the tank, so it didn't work out. But anyways, I'm gonna jump the fuel pump and basically just let this drain out into a freaking bucket or something, and kind of drain the gas tank down, to get all that old booster and all the old gas that's in it out, because that gas is over like 1.5 years old right now, so it's trash. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. That's what y'all can look forward to on the next ones, getting everything pieced together and getting the engine buttoned up and the harness ran and everything bolted up to it. And then man, we're looking good here in the next, I would think within the next couple 3 months. I know I've said it before, but that's my new goal this time. Maybe by springtime we should be running and driving, I hope. Tuned, have the exhaust all took care of, wideband running, all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for sticking around. Oh, one last thing before I go. All you guys that were curious about the Amazon knockoff 302 oil pan, that's it right there, boys. The pan in my configuration, with the way I have the Dirty Dingo set and all that, however you want to say that, my oil pan sits higher up than my cross member, so that's ideal. If I was to scrape, I would scrape the cross member before I scraped my oil pan, so that's dope. And if y'all remember, the stock truck oil pan would hang down. The truck's on jack stands right now, so it's not a good example, but when all the weight of the truck's on the suspension, the stock oil pan set lower than this lower part of the lower control arm cup. The oil pan sat that low, so that gives you a good idea. It's a good, man, probably 3 or 4 inches shallower. It's flush with the bottom of the bell housing of a 4L60, so that's dope. The transmission pan sticks down the lowest now, and that's crazy to think. So yeah, there we go. That the Amazon knockoff oil pan so far was a great buy. Now we don't have to worry about dragging our oil pan off on the ground because we're idiots and have to have lowered trucks to think we're cool and have fun and stuff. But anyways, yeah, there we go. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me all these years. And other than that, peace out, be human, and we'll see you on the next one.